Hey guys, welcome back again from Tampa Bay on this beautiful fall day. This is the first day of this kind of weather we've had so far this season. It has been a late summer for us, but today, man, low humidity, breezy all day, beautiful wind, mid 80s, absolutely perfect riding weather. So I'm finally getting out of the house here, just going for a little fun, relaxing ride. End of the day. Got some exciting stuff coming up for the channel. First of all, I leave in just a few days for my next mountain trip. A week-long trip up again through South Carolina, North Carolina, bit of Tennessee, riding through Georgia, Virginia, all the way up the Blue Ridge, coming back down on the auto train. It's going to be a fantastic trip. Now, for those of you that have seen my past trips, you know I like to pack as light as possible. This one I'm going to have to pack a little heavier than normal because, ooh, a lot of traffic here. I'll go this way. Because I actually have to do some work during the week. I'm trying to get as much scheduled in advance, producing all the videos that I need to right now in anticipation, but there's just so much you can do. And still gonna have a lot I'm gonna need to do, at least a couple nights in the hotels. But luckily, all my hotel choices have good Wi-Fi, so that is part of the plan. No big deal there. It's basically just bringing a different laptop selection, making a little bit more room. But I got plenty of room because I'm taking my trunk as usual, packing both saddlebags, and I still have room to bring back souvenirs or whatever I want to do, especially since I'm riding solo. Now, of course, I could always put my tail bag on the rear seat if I really wanted a whole bunch of more room, which I guess is an option, but I don't need it on this trip. I've also got a very cool project that I can't wait to start for this bike, the FZ09. I am going to be working with a company that is developing new suspension gear, specifically for the 17. And as soon as the products are available, I'm going to be one of the first to purchase them and install them. So I'm looking forward to that. I just can't deal with this stock suspension anymore. Not that it absolutely needs to be replaced. It is certainly a nice step up from the previous generation, and for normal tootling around, sure, it works okay. I've always said it about this suspension, it's adequate at best, but it's not something that, oh my god, you cannot ride the bike without having to upgrade it. It's not quite that level, but it is certainly nothing great. Every time I ride my FJR, I'm just reminded of what a really good suspension feels like on a bike, and I get back on this, and even just going around town like this, it bugs me. You have a dedicated lane. 2 hours later. Let me guess, you want to pull out into the 4th lane. After all that, this jackass realizes, oh, I can pull out into this lane. What a dick. So anyway, gonna be redoing the complete suspension. I'm gonna be starting with the front end. I'll of course have a full how-to on the install and modifications and all that good stuff, and then a review of what actually the difference is. I know what it can be. A good comparison is the Street Triple Series this year with its upgraded suspension options. Very similar bikes, a different riding position, but very similar weight class, power output, and overall handling. But man, you get those suspensions, and then you compare it to how this feels, it's day and night. I mean, that is how I want it to feel. There's rumors of an upgraded stock FZ09 coming from the factory, at least in Europe, for this upcoming 2018 season. But so far, no word on it coming to the US. That would definitely be ideal. Just spending another even 1,500 bucks, that would be a great deal. I'm going to end up spending over a couple thousand. That's just what it takes, unfortunately, to do a full front and rear with any kind of really good results. You can make marginal improvements for $1,000, but you're spending that kind of money, you may as well just bite the bullet, do what it really takes to do it right. It's not that much more for a big performance difference. So that's the plan anyway. I will most likely be starting that after I get back from the trip. So you might see some videos starting on that late October. Right after I get back from the trip, I've got more bikes to review. I'm doing Indian and I want to say Kawasaki. Might be Suzuki. I can't remember right now what's scheduled. I've got a lot of stuff on the calendar. My October is going to absolutely fly by. It's just booked like crazy. And now that we're out of the swamp-ass days of summer on my cigar channel, I've got live shows with guests coming in, and that's booked all the way through November right now. So that's very cool. Must have bumped my mirror in the garage. I'm trying to get it back to the way I wanted it. I'm still looking for a really good mirror option for this. Man, it's the day for spam calls. That's the third one that's come in just during this ride, interrupting me. Anyway, like I was saying, I don't know where I was cut off. I'm still looking for a great mirror option for this bike. I like the way these look, but they're not very functional. I see way too much elbow. The problem is, I'm not a huge fan of bar end mirrors, just the way they look. But they do function very well. I was on the hunt for some that are stem mounted like this, but just go out a little wider. They're really hard to find. These are about as wide as any aftermarket option gets. These are on the large side. So I may end up going to bar ends anyway. The other option, or the other issue that I have with bar ends is it changes the harmonics. These factory weights are actually perfect. I have no vibration through these handlebars, and as soon as you start to alter that, you're going to get some vibration at certain RPMs. I just don't want to sacrifice this great ride. So right now I just deal with the elbows and the mirrors and having to move my head to actually look behind me at all. But I really do appreciate functionality of great mirrors. And I have to say the mirrors on the Street Triple were fantastic as far as function. They really didn't look that bad either. I haven't seen aftermarkets that really match that look. I'll have to see how expensive the actual Triumph mirrors are and if they would fit or adapt to these bars. They probably would. Right now that's my number one option in my head, at least, for replacing them. And they do look very good. They make the whole bike look different. I'm not in love with the kind of antenna look of these stock mount mirrors, but I like how narrow the bike becomes without anything sticking out. So I got to think about it. I have to see the price on those Triumph mirrors, see if it's even something I would be willing to do. And then I'll look more into some aftermarket options. I've seen a few people install the cheap Chinese ones or stuff off Amazon, and I'm just not impressed with those looks at all. Plus, you never know until you get them if, what are you doing, dude? If they're going to be really clear once you install them on the bike. Love this quick shifter. I have so much fun with this. It's second nature now. And no, I don't have any problem switching between bikes. I was concerned about that I would actually, just out of muscle memory, try to use a quick shifter function on the other bike. Nope, not an issue. This is just pure fun. What a bargain for the money, I have to say. And yes, I know it's even more expensive than aftermarket, well, some aftermarket solutions. And yes, it's a very simple thing. But man, the pure fun and enjoyment you get out of it, worth every penny. So right now, I'm going to be spending some time prepping the FJR. Got it all clean. I just need to put a coat of wax on it. And I got to finalize my pack list. I've got a standard pack list, and then I just modify that with whatever I need to do for the trip. And it changes very slightly every time I do a trip. It's pretty much locked in right now. I know what works, what doesn't work, what I've packed and not needed in the past, and everybody's different. Everyone has their own stuff and own way of doing things that they prefer. I prefer to take just one pair of jeans, one pair of riding underwear, and wash it when needed in the hotel. I just bring a little baggie filled with liquid detergent. You can also use powder if you like that, but liquid's a lot easier, trust me, to use in a hotel sink. And that saves a ton of room with what you have to pack. I can fit all of my clothes in one soft saddlebag liner and still have room left over. What I like to do is keep one saddlebag open, and that way when I'm going somewhere and I don't want to bring my helmet, I've got a place to secure it on the bike itself. I don't like to fill both saddlebags filled with luggage. But then on trips like this where I take the trunk, which is the size of 2 more saddlebags, gives me a lot more options. I can leave space in the trunk for a helmet. I can leave a space in the trunk and one saddlebag. I could pack both my helmet and jacket. Depends on how much stuff I've got and what I'm doing for that day. If I don't plan on making any stops, it doesn't matter. But on this trip, I'm going to be doing a lot of landscape photography again, and I'll be getting on and off, maybe going on some shorter hiking trails, you never know. So I like to leave the options open. Well, I was just interrupted again. This time I picked up because I wanted to drop the call to continue this video, and it was yet another pissed off asshole shop that's stolen my photography and ignored all contact to this point from my lawyers, and now they're shitting their pants because my lawyer is actually filing suit. Well, tough shit. I have nothing to do with it at this point. You guys made your bed, now you can lie in it. So told him to pound sand and talk to my lawyer, and he was none too pleased. And you know what? I don't give a shit. I've at this point filed over 130 cases, won every single one of them that has finished. There are over 100 still in process. It happens every single month. People steal my work constantly and use it commercially, and then they have every excuse in the book why it happened. And it basically comes down to one thing: they didn't think they would get caught, period. Well, they got caught. So tough shit. I have zero sympathy. I'm over the excuses of, oh, I didn't know, oh, I got it off Google, oh, my webmaster did it, oh, I thought I could use them, oh, blah, 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 blah. It's bullshit. It's all bullshit. And then it's confirmed, like the end of this phone call, you know, he just got pissed off and, well, I tried, screw this. Yeah, you knew, buddy. You absolutely knew. And if it's at this point, he's already gone past several other major points. So zero sympathy. Screw you guys. Don't steal other people's work, and you won't have any legal problems. That's all there is to it. If you didn't create it or buy it, it's not yours. Don't use it. But I'm home, and I'm still in a good mood, and I love riding bikes. So that's it, guys. Stay tuned for more to come. We'll see you next time.